Wow,
That's a tough question.
Great question.
You're going to need some time for that one.
Can you Phil? You have really good questions. Honest, sincerely, they were great questions. Really great. Really
Thank you very much. You guys have a wonderful day. I really do appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You really had great questions.
Yeah.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
I'm going to jump into this. Ms. Ryan, I'm going to start with you. I would imagine having now directed 2 films, you have a great understanding of what it takes to pull these things off, what it feels like behind the camera. So with that idea in mind, what is a moment from a scene in your career that you didn't direct that you would have loved to have been behind the camera for, just to experience it from the perspective of a director?
Wow.
That's a tough question.
Great question.
You're going to need some time for that one.
Can you Phil while I
can
think
do a little
about that?
I can just do a little shuffle.
What is a scene that I've done now that I understand? I don't fully understand it. Directing is the kind of thing where you can just forever get better and better at it. Like it's infinite how much. So, wow, that is a good question.
not gonna help
I still
at
have
all.
to think about that. I don't
I'm
even
just sitting
know.
here silently.
I've worked with so many incredible
Yeah.
directors, right? I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm going to pass.
Well, I will. I'll say this. I mean, if you look at the credits of this movie, in the end, she thanks Nora. So I would say that so much of. Well, I'll let Meg say it.
Well, so much of this movie is a thank you to her, and I did, I was paying attention to her, and I guess what I learned the most from her was about setting the tone with how it feels on the set, and that I heard Hugh Grant once say that being in a rom-com is like being a balloon in a world of pins, and I think that you just don't want it to be pins. And I think our set felt really good, and it sort of just created this environment where we could be really free and really agile. And again, I don't think that's answering you got a better question than any of the answers I'm giving you.
No, that was a.
She's gonna get back to you.
I am
on
going to
that
get back
one.
to
That's cool. I'll give you guys my number and then we'll talk later. But but I will tell you that I often complain about the sort of Norris films. I always say we don't get movies like that anymore, and I feel like this movie is the sort of movie I complain that we don't get anymore. So I will say that you guys very much nailed that. I'm sure you guys know this. This year marks the 30th anniversary of a big year for both of you. 93 was the release of both Sleepless in Seattle and the first episode of The X-Files. So I'm sort of curious what you guys remember about that year, about each other's work, and that period of your life that affected who you are as people and actors.
You have really good questions.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Well, I remember the show beginning. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, it was just strange, for me, just to have a show. The show didn't hit its peak popularity right away. It was kind of more of a slow burn, but I was just happy to be a working actor. I was just happy to have a job, because it was something that I'd been pursuing for a while. And then I was certainly aware of the movie of Sleepless in Seattle, yeah. And because it was the kind of movie that I thought I wanted to be in. I didn't want the Meg Ryan role. I would have wanted the Tom Hanks role. So it was. I was watching that movie and thinking that's a world that I want to crash. For sure.
I remember when the movie came out, Nora said, "Meg, this never happens." It
When
doesn't.
it works, you
When
mean?
it works, it never happens. Just she was like, "You must pay attention."
That's good.
Because it doesn't. It's very rare when something takes off, and
It doesn't ever happen, and that's the thing is you kind of get into a space where you think that these things do happen.
Right, and they
don't.
actually don't.
They happen once if you're extremely lucky.
They're almost paranormal.
Well,
was
careful,
it.
careful.
That was good. That was really good. They're giving me the wrap. I've got 10,000 more questions I wish I could ask, but seriously, I'm such a big fan of you guys, and I appreciate. I know they were weird questions, but I appreciate you.
No,
I was trying to-
that was a good
honest,
question.
sincerely, they were great questions.
Thank you very much. You guys have a wonderful day. I really do appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank
You
you.
really had great questions.
Yeah,
I don't know how to answer that.
I know.
Back to us.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.